It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Brad Miller as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives here in Yavapai County. And now, here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. Good to have you in studio with us today. Yavapai County Supervisor for District 3, Chip Davis, in studio. We thought we'd do kind of an end of the year, look ahead at the next year, and look at our districting maps and things like that going on. So it's been kind of busy.
It has been very busy.
So thanks for coming in.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Bring us up to speed on the Yavapai County redistricting map, which was selected as map alternate A. Map
alternate A was selected. The board voted 2-1 to adopt that map at the end of August.
We did stories on that. We had you, Tom, and Carol Springer all on, and you were quite upset about that, and they were given their reasons as to why, and so we've talked that. But now we got map alternate A was sent off to the Justice Department, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And it's in for the 60-day review period. There have been some letters submitted requesting DOJ scrutinize that closely because of questions of the public process. I have not heard the outcome of any of those, but we're nearing the end of the 60-day process, so I would suspect that they'll adopt those maps and they'll become the new district boundaries of which we'll all run for election under.
Okay, so what is your boundary going to be? And what district will it be? Because we're switching, just in case anybody doesn't know, we're switching from 3 to 5 supervisors next year.
Right.
Right after the election in the spring, we'll have 5 supervisors, not 3, because we hit, what, 200,000? The 200,000 population mark?
Yep, our population 211,000. They changed the law. Once you hit 175,000, you need to go to 5.
Okay.
So we reached that threshold. I reside in Clarkdale, and the district of which I would run for office would be Cottonwood, Clarkdale, Jerome, Sedona, and the village of Oak Creek.
Is that still District 3?
That's still District 3, yes.
Okay, and then what is going to be taken off of Supervisor Davis's district now? And what district will it be thrown into?
District 2 will be Camp Verde, Lake Montezuma, McGuireville, Beaver Creek, Rimrock, Cornville, the majority of Cornville. I have a small section of Cornville, Verde Santa Fe piece. And then that will be grouped in with Cordes Junction, Black Canyon City, Mare, Spring Valley, Dewey Humboldt, and the south piece of Prescott Valley.
You brought up Verde Santa Fe, and I feel like I'm going to get off track here real quick, but are you in the process of Verde Santa Fe is talking with Cottonwood about annexing into the city limits? Have you been working with them on that or talking with them on that?
We supply information, but we don't.
That sounds very covert.
Well, no, because it's not a county function. I mean, there are some citizens that currently reside in county jurisdiction, and they have a desire to be in Cottonwood, City of Cottonwood jurisdiction, and so there's a process that takes place that involves the citizens. And my opinion of that is it should be totally citizen-driven. It shouldn't be influenced by one government or the other. And let the citizens decide what it is they desire. My opinion is that the county will be there irregardless. You will still have county jurisdiction whether you're in the city or out of the city, and we'll still do our best to do projects and make neighborhoods good.
Now let's go back to the map now.
Okay,
Sorry.
Back to Yavapai County.
It sparked a question in my head when you said Verde Santa Fe. We've got map alternate A, and you did vote against choosing that map because you and Julie went around with the 3 maps and did all those public meetings, and then when it came down to voting, alternate A came in. Have you come to terms with the fact that alternate A was the one that was voted on and pushed through?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not my preference, but when the game's over and you have the cards that you're dealt, you play them, and so that's where we're at now. I think that opportunity still exists for Verde Valley citizens. We've long time had a contention between the Verde Valley and the other side of the mountain, or the Prescott area, and I think rather than roll over and take it that we've lost that district, I think there's an opportunity there. I broke down the population numbers, I broke down the registered voters for that new District 2, And the Camp Verde, Cornville, Beaver Creek area has a population of about 50% of that voting district. And so I believe if we have a great candidate, they have a great opportunity to retain a seat on the Board of Supervisors and keep 2 strong seats for the Verde. And you know, maybe not this election year, but in future years. We need to make the best of what we have.
State redistricting maps. There has been such an uproar since these people were being picked. Now, they're all volunteers. What do we got? 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, and the independent chair.
We had an independent chair.
We had it, right, as we announced yesterday. Yeah, the governor has removed her, and I guess 2/3 vote of the Senate, right? And it got rid of that, got rid of her. They're all volunteers. It seems like they've been plagued with just all bombardments from each direction, and that's not a job I would want to have, to be sitting down and trying to figure this out. Where does that stand, and how's that working out, do you see?
I wish that I could give you a firm answer on that. My observation has left me a little bewildered. I'm not exactly sure where we stand with it. We have some maps that don't make a lot of sense to me from a practical common sense point of view. With the removal of the chairman and very recently the discussion was removal of all of the commission members, and then there was discussion of relief of only the Democratic commission members, and you know, the whole thing has me scratching my head. I mean, we've all been to a lot of meetings, provided testimony, written documentation, requests, and it seems that I don't know that we stand firmly anywhere.
It does seem like everything's kind of just been tossed up in the air. As a matter of fact, it feels that way ever since the beginning. It feels like nothing has really been put down solid and said, okay, this is good, this is good. It doesn't matter what happens. It seems like one side or the other is not very happy with how it's turning out. Now, we voted to have it done this way, the voters in the state.
We did.
To have an independent redistricting commission come in and say, okay, this is how we're going to do it to make sure it's fair, and now they're being told, well, you're not being fair. So, you know what I mean? It seems like it's a dead end type thing.
Doesn't make sense, does it?
It doesn't.
Because the whole thing is politicized. We, the citizens, voted to not politicize the process and make it a common sense approach, and what we've observed is very politicized. You know, when
I guess that's what I'm getting at. Is we said, no, we don't want it done that way. This is how we want it done this way, but it's somehow finagling back to the way it used to be. Mm-hmm. At least it feels that way to me.
It looks that way to me also. Uh-huh. I don't see what the intent of the vote of the people being carried out. What we thought we were voting for is not what's happening. So, you know, I feel sorry for those commission members. I mean, gee whiz, they get beat up on both sides and they're volunteers. On the other hand, I don't agree with the outcomes that they've come up with. I just wish it would be a more common sense approach and start thinking about the voters instead of political people trying to gerrymander electable districts for themselves.
So what is the rest of the process for the state redistricting map? When does that have to be done and all that?
They were under the same schedule that Yavapai County was. Yavapai County started in our process 13 months ago. Mm-hmm. We started in our process, and I won't go into that, but we did start in our process 13 months ago. The state didn't really get underway with their process until, gee whiz, 4.5, 5 months ago.
Right.
Their job was much, much larger than what our job was.
It seems like a massive job.
And so even looking at the 60-day review period, we're in the month of November. How in the heck are you going to have your district boundaries established by the 1st of January? And for people that are thinking about running for office, it would be really good if they knew what their boundaries were and, you know, what the rules were. So I
guess there'll be some hardcore campaigning starting in 2012, huh? Once it's nailed down.
And then what's weird is, you know, where do you campaign? Is it the old district boundary? Is it the new proposed district boundary that haven't been approved? Is it a new commission and chair that's going to come in and make new proposed boundaries, and
So everybody's just taking a coffee break right now. That's going to be campaigning anyways.
Well, the signature process, which you can undertake right now, has been ruled you can gather signatures in the existing established district boundaries. Mm-hmm. So that can give you the signatures to be on the ballot. But where you actually run for office is not necessarily those boundaries. In fact, more than likely not.
Huh, how unusual. We have to take a break. Yavapai County Supervisor Chip Davis in studio today. I'm Paul David. This is Countywide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
If you're looking for a new pet that your family will cherish every day, consider adopting from a shelter. Shelters are the best places to find a new pet. That's where you'll discover healthy, loyal, and loving animals, eager to become a part of your family. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet, so bring home your new buddy today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Hey, honey.
What's up, buddy?
Honey? I think he's been smoking pot.
Call 911. It's okay, Joey. I'm here. Can you hear me, son?
I'm right here.
Are you with
Is he
me?
breathing?
He's not responsive.
Hello?
Honey, give me a steak knife and a ballpoint pen.
What are you
now,
doing?
Step. I'm gonna do mouth to mouth.
You know lots of ways to help your child, but do you know what to do if they're using drugs? The partnership at drugfree.org can help.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Hi, I'm Captain Larry Dawson with the Cottonwood Fire Department, here to talk to you about cooking safety in your home. When cooking with oil, make sure you have the proper size lid and an oven mitt nearby. If the oil does catch fire, cover the pan with the lid while wearing an oven mitt. Turn off the burner. Never throw water or baking soda on a grease fire. Never leave an open flame unattended, and always have a working fire extinguisher nearby.
Welcome back to Countywide. Good to have you along. I'm Paul David, Yavapai County Supervisor Chip Davis in studio today. Okay, we talked about the local map, which should be coming out next year and be said and done. Well, I guess we'll find out pretty quick. The 60-day period for the Department of Justice is looking at that. And then we talked about the state map with you, and that's kind of just up in the air right now. Let's talk Yavapai County budget. How's that for this next year?
Yavapai County budget's healthy. For the past, going on about 42 months now, we've been on kind of a constant vigil of what's happening with our revenue numbers. Mm-hmm. As the economy started to slide, we kept adjusting our budget. We got into a hiring freeze type mode where when people would leave, we wouldn't fill those positions.
Right.
And we were very fortunate with that because we were able to adjust as it kept happening. We've gotten down to about an average of 10 to 11% vacancy rate in all our departments. But what we have seen since the 1st of July is kind of an upswing in our revenue numbers from state shared sales tax.
That's going to be my next question. So I think, because I noticed Prescott Valley, there was a story with Prescott Valley recently that they're looking like they're getting ready to hire again because their money is getting better. Prescott, on the other hand, is kind of opposite. They're actually reviewing everybody's budgets right now and looking at them a second time. But then you also hear that the state police departments now, they're starting to do some hiring again too. So some of it looks like it's coming out and some of it's going backwards. So the county looks like it's starting to go up?
Our revenue numbers are coming up. We're still somewhat cautious. I mean, there's a number of things in the air, even today, right now, existing, the economy in Greece and what that's going to affect.
That's wise.
The American economy and the American economy, how that'll affect our local economies. So We're still cautious on how we're going to expend our budget. We did do a pretty lean, conservative budget this year. We'll stick with that. Revenue numbers coming in better than expected certainly brings a smile to our face, because that means the economy's starting to turn and we're starting to create more jobs county-wide. We'll see how this next thread of an economic turn happens in the next month or two, but I think this year is going to look better aside from that.
I think it's pretty wise to take that approach, because you just, the way it's been the last couple of years, it's been very volatile. One minute you hear about all this good news, and then the next thing you know, everything's slumping again. So I think that's good. I've got to hit it because I've got to hit it. Cornville Road. Tell me what's going on there, just real quick. We've got it in the news today. We had it in yesterday afternoon, and I'll run it throughout the day today. But Cornville Road was supposed to be done at the end of October, and right there where those two ponds sit side by side, that chunk of road has just been a hassle for those guys.
Yes.
What's going on out there, Chip?
That's the infamous Greenwell Slough.
The Greenwell Slough, and you were explaining this to me.
The Greenwell Slough is a natural feature where the groundwater surfaces in that area, and it creates a swamp-like effect. And other than what you can see right off of Cornville Road, if you go farther to the south, it actually looks like a Louisiana swamp down in there.
Okay.
But that's the trouble that our road folks are having right there, is because to make that roadway solid, while you have this very high water table and percolation of water right there, we need to make that very stable so that the new roadway doesn't move around.
Yeah, doesn't disappear.
So it's, I think our guys are doing their best on that.
But Public Works, Byron Jasper, did say they expect to have it maybe done by, I think it was November 11th is what the story says. I think that's right, by the end of next week.
One of the challenges, our engineering department just doesn't have a lot of experience with swamps.
Who does? I mean, it looks much better. The road is much wider throughout the S curves. It's much wider, much safer looking. So, well done.
Yeah, we tried to do widened shoulders, lay those slopes back, do some decent drainage. The shoulders wide enough to accommodate pedestrians or bicycles that use the roadway. We hope to have that Cornville Trail. We hope to have that thing going sometime soon. We've been working on it for about 6 years to have a trail that's off of the roadway, that's available for non-motorized traffic. So a lot of things going along that Cornville section.
All right, well, let's take our second break. When I come back, let's talk about maybe some big projects you foresee coming up next year. Does that work? Okay. Yavapai County Supervisor Chip Davis in studio today. I'm Paul David. This is Countywide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Now, some action from the courts. Billie Jean King renewing her rivalry with Arthritis. First set, furious volley, and right to the net for a winner. Beautiful forehand there. Arthritis, stunned. And here, match point. Billie Jean with the ace, taking it in straight sets. Afterwards, a jubilant Billie Jean King.
Tennis is a weapon for me with arthritis. There's nothing like it for me to hit a ball, run to the ball, anytime, any court. I'm ready. Let's go.
What's your weapon against arthritis? Find out at fightarthritispain.org.
Packers. Viking. Packers. Viking. Packers. Viking.
Red state. Blue state. Vegan.
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown.
Optimist.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities, our families,
united.
Even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Hungry?
Yeah. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Hi, I'm Captain Larry Dawson with the Cottonwood Fire Department, here to talk to you about cooking safety in your home. The #1 cause of house fires today is lack of safety in the kitchen. Always set a timer while you're cooking. If a fire starts in your oven, close the door and turn the oven off. When kids are present while cooking, always use the back burners and keep handles turned in and out of reach of children. Never leave an open flame unattended, and always have a working fire extinguisher nearby.
Welcome back to Countywide. We're going to wrap up our program. We've got about 2.5 minutes to go, Mr. Davis. Big projects coming up in 2012. What do we got?
Well, we've been working on our new juvenile justice facility, and that's moving along pretty darn good. We've got some administration buildings going on over on the Commerce Drive section in Prescott. We wrapped up our health department building over here in Cottonwood.
That was this year. That was a nice project.
It's beautiful, and if you get a chance, I'd have to throw a plug in for it. It's a great facility. Medical, dental services available for everyone. And the fee is based on a sliding scale dependent upon your income. So those folks that are in need of services and are not taking care of themselves, please come in and see us, and we've got a way to get everybody taken care of. Then we've got this new redistricting coming on that we'll try and figure out if they're going to require new offices for the 2 new supervisors. I'm not.
Yeah, someone's going to ask you too. Now, you know, we've got this Board of Supervisors hearing rooms with 3 chairs there. What are we going to do? We're going to have to do some remodeling and things of that nature, I would imagine.
I think we just bring in a couple lawn chairs and just squeeze them in there.
That's it, huh? Yeah. That would be a simple solution, wouldn't it? Yeah, but you get to keep yours, right? Any big road projects?
You know what we've done is we've gone from doing big road projects into a maintenance program. Our HERF monies, which is Highway User Revenue Funds, has slipped dramatically with the economy, and so what we've re-geared ourselves towards is let's make sure that we're taking care of the existing roadways that are in our system. So we don't have any new roadways in the works right now. What we plan to do is just maintain our major roads, and of course we'll be doing work in Verde Village and Cornville and Lake Montezuma and Village of Oak Creek. And
in your crystal ball, if you have one, do you happen to see when we're going to come out of this money issue and kind of top out and start getting back on track with, like you said, the HERF funds have dropped off. You know, a lot of things have dropped off. That 10-11% of employees dropped off. When do you see something like that maybe coming back?
Well, I think it's going to do a slow recovery. I would certainly share with you, if I had a crystal ball, I wouldn't tell you my woes of my personal investments in stocks.
Yeah, okay.
But from what I've been following through The Economist, you know, we're going to do a slow recovery. It'll never be as dramatic as what we saw in the past. It'll be slow and steady, and hopefully out of it we're going to evolve a little stronger and smarter, build some more sustainable industries and not rely so totally on growth and construction. Start having smart industry come into our communities and
learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
We're out of time. Thank you for coming in.
That's been my pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll see you again, I guess, early next year probably, or sometime next year.
Well, we'll come in anytime you want.
All right. Yavapai County Supervisor Chip Davis. I'm Paul David. That's today's Countywide. We'll talk to you again next week.
This has been Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Tuesday and Thursdays, we tackle the hot topics and talk to the decision makers across Yavapai County. That's Countywide with Brad Miller and Paul David each Tuesday and Thursday on this Yavapai Broadcasting station.